you know, growing up, and then started, you know, had the band thing. The band thing was difficult to really keep all the members all the time because, I mean, we're growing up and
I
people
understand. And
starting to go to college and starting
you have bills to pay.
yeah, this kind of thing, you know, we were young and so people had to go in their different directions for whatever they needed to sustain and to, you know, continue in their life directions. Right, Asher B and I, we maintained the musical side throughout our lives. Right, what I started working with Ijam and Levi.
I know.
Right. Actually, we was working with Junior English and different people as we coming up, and Ijam and Levi was the first real.
Is that what we are?
Yes, man. Molding and I'm a Levi and you know, I mean, all these things. I do the Great Wedding Song.
The Great Wedding Song, yeah.
Right. And so, working with Ijam for a number of years. Right. I actually started out as a guitarist.
Yeah.
First, I was Ijam's guitarist. Johnny Osborne as guitarist.
Guitarist.
Right. And then eventually I made a switch onto the bass guitar.
What made you switch?
Well, what it was, the band at the time, the first bass player, Delroy Foster, God rest his soul, Delroy Foster, he went on to become a pastor, right? And so we had different bass players coming in, right? And it just wasn't really working out with the different chaps. So it was a situation where we had to look within and see what can we do. Right, so my brother had a bass guitar, so all right, then make me try a thing, right? And Ijman brought over Big Youth.
All right.
So he bring Big Youth for us to go and do a show in Paris.
All right.
So this was one of those last minute thing, right? So 11 o'clock in the night, we're down the rehearsal place waiting for them to turn up, right? We have a bass guitar in my hand, the first time we playing bass. So when them come now and I have to learn Ijam thing, because I remember as a guitarist, I have to learn Ijam thing for the bass. I have to learn Big Youth thing same time.
Wow.
And it was just pressure. I get cussed.
Serious?
They cuss me so much. But anyway, long story short, my first bass gig was playing with Big Youth and Ijam in France. And by the way, that rehearsal went till about 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock. Then we had to rush, we had to go catch a flight.
Right.
Go straight over to Paris, set up this and that, and go on stage, and just had to hit it.
Well, what was it like for you then going to Paris? Because have you left the country before? Have you toured before? You haven't.
No.
So what was that first experience like?
Well, no, actually, I did go to Europe before, right? But being with those guys, you know, the giants in the reggae world.
The giants in the reggae world.
Right. It was really exciting, but I didn't really I didn't have an opportunity to really full joy because I was under so much pressure.
Under pressure, yeah.
Right, trying to learn. I mean, I had a bruise on my hip for a couple of weeks after that gig because the bass was so heavy. Yeah, I wasn't used to it. My fingers are hurting. You know, you know, what I mean, Big Youth say, yeah, I know you was doing your best.
That's great.
But he was messing up my career.
He was messing up your career.
I'm telling that story in the nicest way. It was rough.
So this is trying to say you didn't always want to be a musician.
Well, I didn't want to be one after that night.
Serious?
That's for sure. I was destroyed. You know, I'd really, really, really done my best. Right? And I get cussed on stage. It was like a baptism, you know, with fire.
And you was based in Birmingham? You was based in Birmingham? Yeah. Absolutely marvelous.
But that experience, you know, kind of toughened me up when I decided that I'm going to continue this.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the last time I get cussed either. But anyway, I get cussed in my career.
Why did you get so much cussed then?
Boy,
It's because you was playing something wrong? Is that because you was out of key or whatever? What was it?
Well, first was like the feel, the groove, you know, I couldn't read the artist for what he wanted, but I learned. You're working with as a session player, you have to learn an artist, learn their mannerisms, you know, the nuances in when they're singing, or if they say something, or if they have an action, you have to learn what these things
What's coming
mean
next?
Very, very quickly.
Very, very quickly.
Because a lot of the artists you work with, right, even some of them from Jamaica, they're not going to articulate.
Yeah.
They're going to more have gestures.
Yes.
And if you don't catch on and don't want the music high or low or semi down, then they're going to say, "Bands, man! What you do with bands?"
So they give you the hard time, innit?
You know them things.
Yeah, I understand.
Nobody can talk about bands, man.
Yeah.
Not now.
Yeah.
We go through my thing already.
Yeah.
So it was a pressurous thing, you know what I mean? It was pressure. But it it's a groundation you have to go through, right? If you're going to be a session person, because it's a mentality. You know, when you're in a band, a bandsman and a session man is two different things, two different approach. When you're a bandsman, maybe the drummer is your cousin, the backing vocalist is your girlfriend.
And there's somebody you know.
Yeah, and you see, so there, it's like people can take things personal and this, that, and you know, people form cliques when it's a band, and this guy and that guy and these two and those three and that.
And some of the ego thing kicks in as well. I understand
then,
that.
You know, who is the leader and this and that.
I've worked with bands, so I understand that.
See, when you're a session man and there's the MD, you follow what the MD is saying, or the person that's orchestrating the music initially, who is telling you how they would like their thing.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to not take things too personal, right? You're there to do a job. There is something that has been laid out before, and so you now have to take that, right, and do that. Not necessarily interpret that.
Yeah.
You have to be able to do that.
Or even improvise it with you.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Right. Some people are very particular.
Yeah, that's right.
So they ask you to do that.
That, and you have to do it.
You don't have to, but then you find another job.
That's right.
Right.
I understand.
So you know, my whole thing coming up is I have to learn to do what they ask, or I'm told, or I'm ordered to, or begged to, whichever way you want to look at it, it's got to get done, right? So the thing is to be able to do what is already laid out. If they want to give you a little bit more expression and you can they want to improvise, then that's fine too, you know. But as a session man, you have to be able to give the person what they ask for.
Marvelous.
So I learned all those things in my early days. It was not debatable.
Yeah.
Right, give them what them say they want.
Marvelous. And you played with Pato Banton. Was this before you played with Pato Banton?
No, this is before I played Pato. I was in Pato. She was with Igerman, Big Youth, a few other people. Then I was with Pato Banton. I was with Pato Banton for about 8 years.
So you know Steve.
Of course.
Steve Morris.
Of course, me and Steve around the world together for
Steve
years
Morris
and years.
on the world together, yeah. Big shout out to you, Steve.
Yeah, man, big up.
Steve.
Big up, Morris. You know, happy belated bigger for last week. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
So, yeah, a lot of us, I mean, some of those chaps, that was the Reggae Revolution band.
Yeah.
Right, I was just out at the weekend with Mikey and Skins. They were from Reggae Revolution also.
Skins was
Solomon, yeah. Skins was from a band called Studio 2.
I know, so he's a producer now, isn't he?
All kind of
thing,
man.
All kind of things, yeah.
Right, so when we was with Pato, Skins was producing certain of the tune. That's why I call Skin Jappy. Big up Skin Jappy. Skin Jappy, producer.
I know Skin very, very. He's a producer, yeah.
Yeah, Skin's foundation in all this thing. What's his African Star? What me I talk? Yeah, African Star. Right, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. So how you moved on? You moved on. I know you went to Africa. What was it like when the first time you go to Africa? Motherland.
Yeah,
Tell us about the motherland.
Man, it was emotional, man.
Yeah, because we've heard so much about Africa. You know, we always want to go to Africa. So the first time you go to Africa, what was that like?
Very, very emotional. As a young Ras,
exactly.
Well, you know what I mean, and get a chance to go to the motherland. My first touch was Ghana.
Yeah.
Right, and I was with Musical Youth at that time.
All right.
Right, and Osibisa is the big band from Ghana.
Yeah,
and it was Osibisa's homecoming show, and we were invited to be on that. And if I remember rightly, the aircraft was full, so I think the government did have to take some people off of the plane to make sure they all a week and get on the plane there.
Wow.
Right, and we went there. It was just amazing. There was a procession through the streets and the crowd and everybody out, and Jerry Rawlings was the man in power at the time, right? And it was great. We were in Accra, then we went up to Kumasi, right? We were at the State House, and so for our first time in Africa, right? It was really touching. As a Ras. We've
learned about Africa all over the years. So touching on the ground, it's like,
you know. Oh, I kissed the ground. When I got there, I kissed the ground. Yeah. Every time I go to Africa, I kiss the ground. I come off the plane, kiss the ground. If I come off and have to go through the concourse and everything, when I get out into the parking lot, I kiss the ground.
Kiss the ground.
Right, I don't go Africa no time without kiss the ground.
Marvelous.
No time at all.
Marvelous.
Every time kiss the ground.
I don't know, you also been to the States and lived in California for a while, didn't you?
I was out there.
You was out in California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music same way.
Music same
Them
way.
times I was with Don Carlson. Actually, after
Don
Pato
Carlos,
Banton.
the great Don Carlos. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think after Pato Banton. Kind of tired of just been
Yeah, I
a
understand
lot
because
of studio work just now. And thing. Right, we'll come on to that. Yeah, then I was with, Pato Banton was about 8 years. And then, actually, Pato was the first person I went to the States with in 1989. That's the first time I went to the States. Right, Pato had a lot of success in the States, especially California side and thing. And with Pato, we started going to South America. And Brazil in particular had a lot of success in Brazil.
Wow.
It was the #1 reggae band down there, barring Jimmy Cliff. Jimmy Cliff had big status. But when we started going to Brazil with Pato, 94, I think, about 1994, something like that. And, you know, it was Maxi, Shaggy, 2 Black Euros at the time.
Yeah,
All kinds of things, Van Whalers, Big Mountain, and, you know, Dennis Brown, they go down, Gregory go down. But when they did the opinion polls, Pato was the #1.
Wow.
Yeah, we had hits down there, fantastic fan base. We would be there, you know, 6 weeks was no problem, 2 months is no problem. And we'd be there like 2 or 3 times a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good days.
Absolutely great. And what next? How did you come to sort of with the band you are with now, Steel Palace?
Steel Palace, boy, there was a whole heap of journey in between that, you know.
I know, that's what I said. Tell us the journey before you come to Steel Palace.
So after Pato, I went to be in the States, and that's how I ended up staying in the States.
And you had a project called the Y...
Yellow Wall Production.
Yellow Wall Production.
It's a Yellow Wall dub band, yeah?
Yes, all right.
So what it was like, you know, Pato and the Reggae Revolution, we parted ways, right? So I remember I was going over to America. Pato and them were going to America on the same day. They were going to continue their life.
Okay.
And I was going to reinvent my life, you know? So I went over to California and bounce around, and I started a band, right, called the Yellow Wall Dub.
Okay.
Right, and the reason why I call it Yellow Wall Dub is because I'm not a singer. And there was only one man in the band.
That sings.
And me.
Oh, right.
A one-man band, Yellow Wall Dub. It's like a film dub coming out and sing.
Yeah.
Right?
Great.
But things started to develop, and I started working with different people. And so because I was there, the promoters and stuff knew I was there, that I had a reputation from before in music. So they'd call me, then I'd put a side a man together. Right, and so me and my brethren Fazal, right, Fazal Prendergast, he's from Jamaica. He's passed away now, God rest his soul. Right, he and I became Yellow Wall Dub. You know, him joined me and we started to do what we're doing. So we're back in Apple Gabriel from Israel Vibrations. We're doing Don Carlos, right, Rash Shiloh, the Itals, and Meditations, and it goes on Sister Carol, and a whole bunch of artists.
So what was that like?
That was great, man. Because
are you really happy now? Because you've learned your trade and you've
and then become the first call. So anybody coming over, any promoter bringing in a Jamaican accent thing.
Is yes, so they stuff like you.
First call.
First call, great.
You know, we put together who and who. So that was cool. Yeah. But it was hard at the same time because what we found was the Americans, the American musicians, they was always ready to undercut your price.
I see it.
So to maintain a level of professionalism and a standard, a respectable standard of remuneration was difficult because these guys always want to undercut. Then you got some artists who just want the cheapest band. Yeah. And so I do remember one time in particular, right, I got a phone call to work with, it was Bushman. Bushman was coming up, right? And what they was offering me, I couldn't take it.
You couldn't take it.
I wanted to work with Bushman, you know what I mean? And I wanted work.
Yes.
Cause me did broke. In English, I did broke.
I think we all experience that.
Right. So it was a sticky situation because I was like hand to mouth, you know, really like, and I just couldn't take it. I just said no because the chaps that I work with normally, if I call those guys, they're gonna want a respectable pay.
That's right.
Right, and there's no way I could call them and say, well, sorry guys, you know, because the status that I had, people expecting.
Yes.
So I had to make a decision, right? And then the brother called back and said, look, man, we need you, man. I'm like, it's only you can pull this off. I said, but when the tour starts, he said, 2 days' time. I said, wait. He said, we need you, man. And we know you can do it. We know you can pull it off. And I checked my pocket. I'm hungry, man. And I almost said yes. But something in my mind said, I have to maintain my integrity.
Yeah, and you're disciplined.
Right?
Yes.
And I just said, no. And I just put it to the Most High. You have to help me out, you have to go feed me. And I said no. And you know, the following week, a couple of guys from the band, the guys that I normally work with, they give me a call and say, hey, I'm like, you know what? Didn't say nothing before, but I've got to tell you something, man. I said, what? You know, we got approached to back that artist, you know. Some people approach us, you know, like, you know, bypassing you and came to us to it, you know, but we had to say no. We said no, and I said, good. Thank you very much. And I couldn't let them see me in a small. So after that, things they start look up. You know what I mean? I could make sure so I maintain the rate of pay at something respectable.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, whenever I put things together. So that's a hard thing as well in the music and things sometimes, especially as a session man. It gets a bit sticky. And sometimes you take a job, right? And when people find out, say, you did work for that small, everybody want to work with you.
Yeah.
So I learn, don't do it.
And you had, I think you had a sing lad. You had a couple of sing lads, didn't you?
No, well, I worked with different people and
there was a thing I come across like a sing lad. You had somewhere along the line there.
Which one was that?
You were like I read about.
Yeah.
There was
Was it with yeah, I did actually. I've done some bits of it. I did something in with the. It's in Brazil, yeah.
Yeah.
Some tracks in Brazil, yeah.
That's
I
right,
didn't forget about those things. Yeah, I was on something with Jambi and those guys and the guys from Curitiba. Big up the guys from Curitiba, man. Yeah. Namaste band, big up yourself, man. Makoto, big up yourself. Right. Super Sister Patricia, big up yourself. You know what I mean? And all those guys, man.
And you've also been in the Bass Player magazine.
Buckingham, big up yourself. Yeah.
You've also been in the Bass Player magazine.
Yes, I was in Bass Player magazine a number of times.
Yeah,
a number of times. That's because of the endorsements that I have.
That's
and
right.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I forgot about all that as well. For watching, you know. Yeah, for watching.
You forgot all about that.
For watching. Oh yeah, the American experience as well.
Yeah.
Started working with Rush Shiloh when Rush Shiloh was blowing up. That was a really good time.
When it was going to, yeah.
Yeah, man, it was a really good time. And then started working with Don Carlos. And that was the best. Right, and working with Don Carlos, Don is such a great person. Yeah, Don is loved. People love Don Carlos. Right, and so many of the Americans that were coming up, the white American bands, they all love Don Carlos. Wow. So there's a big band called Revolution. Everything is Don Carlos. They're coming into their own now, right? And they're the biggest band out there right now, I'd say. Right, we toured with them last year. Right, well, they're so big, we open for them now, you know what I mean? So big up Marley, big up Eric, big up Revolution, Corey, everybody, big up yourself, yeah? Right, and Don is loved by another band called Slightly Stupid. They take Don on tour all the time, you know? And then whenever I'm in town, then it's me and Don on stage with Slightly Stupid. Big up Slightly Stupid, Kyle. See you in December. Nice, proper. Right, and the whole Don Carlos thing, we ended up doing a show at a place called the Maritime Hall in San Francisco. Okay. Right, and unbeknown to us at the time, or me at least, right, it was videoed. Yeah, so the venue had a video set up, so they filmed the whole thing and thing. Sometime later on, next thing you say, video out a door. Right, and somebody come to me and said to me, say, yo, hold this. I said, hold this? I said, nah, man. So I chat with Don and say, what going on? I said, oh, so I said, all right, cool, and we sort out. And you know, say, that was the biggest promotion
Serious.
that I've ever had.
Yeah?
Yeah, that Don Carlos DVD.
Yeah.
2000. Check it out, Don Carlos live in San Francisco, 2000 or 2001, 2000, I think. Right, so all of the young American bands coming up at that time watch that
What's that
DVD
DVD?
and watch the bass and think everywhere I go. And there's not a country in the world I've been to where somebody don't say, you want the Don Carlos DVD? Some of them, but that's a steel post. Don Carlos DVD, right? And I worked with Don for a time, and it was really good. But then what changed was when 9/11 happened.
And that's, yeah,
Right?
that wrecked everything, didn't they?
Because I just started some rehearsals. I was working with Abyssinians.
Yeah.
And while I was working with Abyssinians, Wailing Souls come to one of the things, the man see me.
That's it.
And then them decided to approach me. So, so Wailing Souls said they want me to know, right? And so I went to Brazil, and I landed in Brazil before the second plane hit. I was in the airport watching it on the screen and
The tower.
so then I couldn't get back into the States.
It's amazing, isn't it? So you know exactly where you was.
I know exactly, because when I got off the airplane, the TV cameras, I came off an American Airlines plane.
Yeah.
So the TV cameras came to film our faces to see what the reaction was going to be when we find out what's going on. It was not nice, really.
No.
And then when we spin on, and then I went into this McDonald's and I seen on the screen, because there's people crying in the airport, and then I see what's what. So then I was stuck in Brazil. I couldn't get back to the States.
That's amazing.
Eventually, sometime later when I got into the States, right, I got in, so I missed my Don Carlos gig, had to call somebody else, right, and so Wailing Souls picked me up straight away, right, and then I move on with that. But even then, unfortunately, the America was in a state of panic.
Yeah.
So I'm in California, right? We did some quick rehearsals to start a 6-week tour, right? Straight away, Wailing Souls said, "We're not flying." 'Cause people didn't want to fly.
No.
So I'm the only one that caught an airplane. They drove for 3 days, and those of you who don't know, East Coast to West Coast is 3,000 miles.
Wow.
R5, 3. It's not next door, right? You know. So they drove for a few days, and I fly. We did the one show in New York for the firefighters, for charity thing, and that was the best show. We went upstate New York, and then there was a situation. I was there with Kimani. Yeah, big up Kimani Marley, man.
Yeah.
Kimani, Derek Barnett did a big up Derek Barnett, right? And Screwdriver, the artist, and a few away. And then I was there. I remember being outside the venue. I count 11 shot me a musician. When you hear bop, you start count. It's like a drum roll. 11 shot me hearing off.
Wow.
Right, and then we duck run, and then Kimani come and say, yeah, so then we dive on my tour bus, and me and Kimani I look and found out that a guy got shot up and he died later on. You know. And that just kind of just ended that tour. Because people were not coming out. People were scared to go out.
Yeah. Totally.
So the tour was over before it started.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
So we flew to California and did one show, and that was it.
That was it.
It was like, yeah.
And after that, you decided to come back to the UK after all that?
Yeah, after Don Carl, that time I wanted to study. I wanted to,
What was your study?
back up.
What you
Well, when I came into England, because I wanted to do teacher training.
Oh, great.
Right, that's what I wanted to do, to get to do my teacher training, and I actually wanted to do sign language. That's the first thing I wanted to do.
You hear that,
sign.
guys? Musicians, you see musicians, you think they don't do anything else.
No.
They do other things. They're not just musicians.
No, man, you have to do other things.
Thank you.
I have to do other things.
Thank you.
Right,
Great.
so, I wanted to get a bit more solid, a bit more of a solid foundation, because the music thing's up and down.
That's right.
It's glorious when it's glorious.
Glorious.
And it's always glorified.
Yes.
But that's not the reality.
No.
You know.
We know that.
And there's something my mother used to say, get your paper.
Yes.
Now England, you're there, get your paper.
Yes.
Nobody can take it from you. Get your paper. So in other words, get your qualifications, get your certificates, so no one can take it from you. Got to get your certificates.
Right.
So with that in mind, I came into England, and I wanted to do a sign language course. I wanted to do my teacher training course. Right, and one thing led to another. So I intended to get those qualifications so I can start teach. But then I found out that to teach, you have to have a specialism, right? And you have to have a bachelor's in your area to be able to
teach.
Yeah, to be able to teach. It's like if you're going to teach City and Guild students or people coming up, you got to have a qualification higher than the level you want to teach. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I was going to do another year at the teaching to get a postgraduate certificate. But then I realized, stop where I am, I was eligible to teach in college.
Yeah.
I got to that level, but then I said, right, now I got to do a bachelor's.
Right.
You know what I mean? And another man, Shad Michael Wasifa Brown.
Bro,
Yeah,
what's
Shad.
sound?
I always remember Shad was telling me, I was setting up my thing and I was setting up my thing. Every time I book him up, setting up my thing. And Shad set up him thing. Shad big up, bless up, respect. Right? And Shad was the man that said to me one day, so I'm like, life begin with a bachelor's. Shad said that to me. Right? So they say, yeah, all right. So we make a switch and start go for towards a bachelor's. I did a HND first at South Birmingham College. Big up everybody South Birmingham College for all the support, all the love. Then I went to University of Wolverhampton
Right.
to do one more year
Yeah.
to get the bachelor's.
Great.
Right. And so I did that. Dennis Seaton from Musical Youth.
Because you produced, you
Right.
produced.
Yeah, I was working with Musical Youth at the time. You're producing the
Producer.
album time, and I was musical director for those chaps as well
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
time. Right. So Dennis Seaton, Bonnie, Bonito, Neville, Dryden, right, Drummer Supreme, right, he and I, and Greg, right, Greg Ripett, we were the 4 black guys on that course,
Wow.
right, over in University of Wolverhampton. So got the bachelor's. I got a first class honors from a bachelor's,
Fantastic.
right.
Great.
Dennis got a 2-1, Bonnie had got a 2-1 from Coventry from before, right, so we were plowing through. Right, with that first class honors, my decision was to then move on to a PhD by way of what they call a program called an MPhil, which is a Master's in Philosophy, right? But it's in your given field, and then you can move on then to your PhD, cutting out doing a Master's. So if you start the MPhil, within 12 months they vet you if you're doing well, then you continue as a PhD student.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I intended to do.
So you gotta watch him, you know, guys.
Yeah, to
He
watch
was
him.
saying you gotta watch.
watch
What do you say when it comes? Now you gotta watch him.
Watch me now, you know. And what it was, I was trying to find a university that would take me, but it was so expensive, right? So I said, all right, I'm gonna wait a little bit. And I bumped into one of my lecturers in the Apple store, right? And Mr. Spencer, big up Mr. Spencer, right? And he says to me, look, I'm teaching the advanced research class. I know you're not with us now, but you're going to need that when you start your PhD, so you could come along. And he got me to come back to university. Of course, when I do one class, I'm going to do this, that. Next thing you know, I was on a master's program,
Great.
which ended up with a master's in musicology. Right.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
But I don't start my PhD yet. I'm getting wrong. You're going to find a way.
You're gonna start that.
You know. Now that we're not in Europe, I can't do it in Germany anymore.
No, you can't do it in German.
For cheap.
We come out.
Anyway.
And I say you've done very well. You produced all the different tracks and all the rest of it for different people. You know what I mean?
On a track with a band called Ayatera. Big up Ayatera.
Yeah.
Big up Purge. Big up Lulu. Yeah. Right. Worked on a track with them last year before last. I can't remember, time fly. So that David Hines of Steel Pulse, Selwyn Brown, made the DJ thing, and there people did their singing, and we had a great track.
Tell us about your workshop, because I know your mentor and your workshop. And tell us about that.
Yeah, my background is actually mentoring as well.
Yeah, mentoring. Yeah, tell us a bit about that.
Right. So when I came back to England in 2001, right, like I was trying to find my feet, I was looking to study and all those type of things. So I started volunteering in Burton-upon-Trent. Right, as a mentor. So I drive up there every day as a volunteer mentor. Eventually, an opening was created, and then I got a job as a mentor.
Okay.
Right, and that went from one thing to another and to another and to another. I got involved in different mentoring projects, and then I would be going into schools and doing music workshops myself, right, and doing talks, and then working with. We didn't just work with the children; we worked with the parents as well, right. That's how it was a more holistic approach to situations, and working with the schools as well, doing that mentoring job. I then went on to, and at that time I started with Steel Pulse shortly thereafter as well. So it was quite a lot. So I was going college, university, Steel Pulse, and mentoring. So it was like, but then I started working with Steel Pulse, met some people in Wisconsin, right, and then I started flying out to Wisconsin to do workshops with young people who were incarcerated. right? So I'll be working with 15-year-olds that we're looking at 15 years,
Wow.
yeah. And one of the other prisons, I worked in about 10 different prisons. One of the prisons I'm working, there were two 19-year-olds that were looking at 60 years. So when I went in with a team of musicians to run my program,
Yeah.
we had the whole judicial system come in, and the judges and everybody, social workers, everything. Right, they'll all come in and look and see what's happening and see what the interaction is like. Because they're trying to see if there's any way they could give them 40 years instead of the 60. You know what I mean? Things like that. So, it's very interesting. I'm working with them young kids, 7 years old, they're sweet and cool. We get along nicely, but you don't mess with them. And they had a system there where when the kids go to school, right, they clock in and clock out when they're ready. Them kids, you can't tell them nothing. Them they pick never bun down them house and all them things, but they're cool, but they can switch. So they try a system where they don't force them, but they go to school and come out, special school and thing, So I worked in all those kind of places. I did some in Brazil as well and thing,
And what is the satisfaction? What is the satisfaction you get out of this? You know what I mean? What is the satisfaction? Is it helping people, making people better, making lives better for for all these people?
It is, because I mean, they say that the best way to learn is to teach.
Yeah.
So when you're imparting knowledge and you're helping, right? God is a great God.
Right.
There's a thing called grace. God give you grace.
Marvelous.
So they say you have to give to receive. I don't really know. Just give.
Yes.
Don't look on the receiving.
I don't look at the receiving. I just think give. You know what I mean? And do the best of what you can do.
Because my reality, me get a lot.
Yes.
I've been blessed. Yeah. When I'm blessed with the whole heap of money, I drop out of my pocket. But the richness in the life, right? It's good. You passing on something and you can see the growth, you can see the development. If I go and do a workshop in a detention center, right, I have a finite amount of time to get a result. Yeah. And we get the results in a very short space of time. And that's, as opposed to 6 months of this or a year or 2 years of that, you get some type of result and you can see that you spark an interest in somebody and it sparks more interest in yourself that you want to do more of this and you want to learn more from them. So it's a good thing. I'm a registered for respite foster care as well. You know what I mean? And my foster kid, it's good to see him learning.
Marvelous.
It's good.
And what are you doing now? I know you're playing with Steel Person. What are you doing your own project on? Because you're telling me about what are you doing?
Well,
because I remember you mentioned that earlier without you realizing it.
man. I gotta knock myself over the head a little bit. I got some stuff I've been working on for a couple of years, like when I come to fruition, yet nearly ready. Right? Some solar project stuff, right? Which have involved people from Hawaii, people from Jamaica, people. I've got all kinds of people on my stuff so far, right? Yet to just seal that up, get it out there, right? So, I've been working on some. Even this year, I started this year at Tough Kong, right?
Wow,
I started at Tough Kong this year.
What's it like in Tough Kong?
What's
it like?
Tough Kong is a magical place.
I mean, I know Hope Road very well.
We
used to go for that Hope Road very well as a little. We went to the house, the big house.
Yeah. You go in at the studio, man, and you just say a Bob place, that man. A Bob place. You know what I mean? Yeah, a Bob Marley place that. A Bob Marley place.
No, you jogged my memory there. You actually jogged my memory there because the question I wanted to ask was, how did you feel?
Oh,
when
man.
we lost Bob, how did you feel? Where
when
were
we
you
lost
at the
Bob,
time?
right? I remember I was on Sandwell Road, right? My brother, my next older brother to me, was renting a spot in Mr. Nemard house on Sandwell Road, right? I remember reading the thing, 11th of May, 1981. I think, was it Black Echoes it was on or something like that?
Yeah, the Black Echo, yeah.
And I see the big picture, Bob Marley dies, 11th of May, 1981. And it was like, wow. because with Bob back in the day in Birmingham and thing, nobody never did a play Bob Marley
No.
in a no sound,
No,
this, that, or whatever.
No.
Because only those who was in on that type of frequency,
Yeah.
with that kind of message and that kind of ethos would have been listening to Bob.
Yeah.
So I remember Rastaman Vibration, Catch a Fire, this and that. I always remember the tune Rat Race.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my gosh,
That's
it's
a
real.
It's amazing. It's amazing though, because I recall when I came here, because I had heard the Catch a Fire in Jamaica, and I had the Concrete Jungle.
Right.
The Concrete Jungle. That is, have you ever listened to the guitar, the Concrete Jungle?
Yeah, man, yeah.
Fantastic tune, you know what I mean? And I recall I was getting involved with this guy called Victor, and he says, have I listened to this called the Concrete, the Catch a Fire album? I've still got the Catch a Fire album.
Wow, the lighter.
The lighter.
Yes,
The sleeve lighter. And after the Catch a Fire and the Burning album, and then the Natty Dread album came out. No, the Natty Dread album, because I was very, very young at the time. The Natty Dread album just takes me over, because you could see all the artists, you could see all the who produced the album, you could see all the words, you know what I mean? And a rebel music.
You know, I can remember you buy an album, them time you read everything from front to back. You know, the credits, and then you go back and you take out the white paper with this and put it back in, and you turn it sideways so the record not drop out. Kind of thing there. Yeah.
And for me, that was like even I had heard the ska, what he was doing with earlier on. I mean, I think when I went to school, they used to play the popular track, the ska tune.
Yeah,
I'm saying it down. Well, we used to dance at that. I remember we used to dance to that at school. We used to go like this.
Wow. It's funny, you know, because our engineer with Steel Pulse right now is the great Errol Brown, Bob Marley's engineer.
Bob Marley's
right, and it's a joy. Because actually, on my journey as well, I was working with Al Anderson, Bob Marley's guitarist. Right, I didn't even dream. That's not a dream come true. That's just like wow, you know. Because when I was younger, I started off as a guitarist, and Al Anderson, Junior Marvin, Al Anderson. Junior, big up Junior. Me and Junior tour together. Junior, me and Junior have band in a Brazil. Me and Junior Marvin tour in a Brazil. That's what, I've been a bit of an artist singing this and that. Only in South America, yeah. So, but Al Anderson, right? Oh gosh, he used to play some sweet stuff. And you know, when I met Al Anderson for the first time in Birmingham, Al Anderson signed my £5 note. I said, wow, these guys are nice. They're cool, man. I like to be like one of those guys. And years later, me and Ali's buddies, man, we're brethren and, you know, tight, cool. And I was playing bass for Al about 2017, 2016 or something like that. I ended up playing bass for Al Anderson. That was like you know?
Yeah. I understand.
Oh, God.
I understand. I understand. I understand what is actually going on there. But this is it's marvelous. It is marvelous.
Yeah, this song. Me now hide, you know. The man say if he do something with the microphone, I don't even know where I'm there, so really and truly. Don't make it touch me neck.
Don't make it touch your neck.
He said, don't make it touch me neck.
It will, don't make it
I gotta
touch
keep
your
it away from my throat.
neck. Keep it very, very short. So, as I say, for all those guitars that Bob Marley had, was a great legacy. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah, man.
and on
I'm
most,
still doing it, man.
and
Junior
most,
doing it.
and most of the Steel Pulse, Aswad, such a significant, because they are all, you know, the whole Bob Marley, they was so influenced by Bob Marley. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think everybody gets a touch of Bob Marley. If you don't, everybody. Well, then again, some people was more in line with like Peter Touch, you know.
Yeah. I like Peter as well. I like Peter as well.
You know, but then there were other, like I said to a lot of people, a lot of people around the world, they say Bob Marley. But when we were younger, there was more superstar than Bob Marley with a lot of other people.
Yeah, well, you had like the great Jimmy Cliff and
Jimmy Cliff was there. Well, like you have a roots man, you have you and
you have all those guys. You've had Ken Wood that was actually doing very well.
There's a whole heap of guys.
Ken Wood was doing very well.
Whole heap of guys.
But I like all three of them, and I like Bunny. I love Bunny because I love Bunny for the Black Heart Man album.
Yeah,
and when he tells stories about Black Heart Man, you know, absolutely.
But see, I tell people all the time, if you want to know about the plight of the Rasta man, you need to listen to Black Heart album and Black Heart the track in particular.
That's right.
Tell you about the plight of the. Because as I'm moving around the world, a lot of people with dreadlocks now and that kind of thing, and nobody knows the Rasta.
No.
So I will just say to them, if you would want to know a little thing, check out that song, check out that album. It gives you an insight into how people viewed. Because when I tell them that when I was younger, Rasta was shunned and scum of the earth, they're like,
Yes,
what?
yes,
Are you
yes,
kidding?
yes, yes, yes.
I'm like,
Because
yeah.
I mean, when I say I was born in Jamaica, and when I grew up in Jamaica, I remember like, you know, I mean, it was exactly the same thing. I recall my very very one of the very first Rasta person I actually saw, because I was in country, and he was from country, and he went to town.
From the countryside,
He was,
not the city. He's from the countryside, you know what I
I
mean?
tell you what, I was born in town, but I went to country. I
He was
live
born in the capital, town in Jamaica. Town in Jamaica means Kingston,
stud.
right? Country means anywhere outside of Kingston.
Kingston.
And foreign mean
Anywhere
anywhere outside
outside of
of Jamaica.
Jamaica.
All right. You've been educated.
So as I was saying, I recall we had Dennis, and Dennis he was like the first Rasta man who actually, come across, because he was like our next door neighbor, and he went to Kingston and he came back, he went to Trinidad and all the rest of it, and he came back, and he was such a wonderful person, so I was intertwined with him, and it was absolutely great, absolutely marvelous. He's no longer with us, and saying God bless his family, but he was very, very nice man, so, and as I say, in those days, Rastafarian was shunned, big time, big time. And even some of the early stars, even though some of the early stars, which they couldn't, some of the early recording artists, they couldn't go into the studio and sing put anything about Rasta down as a lyric.
Look, man, they had some clubs in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Right, where them decide, say, no Rasta now come in here.
All right.
Right just in Birmingham. Up the road over there, up the road, along the corner. No Rasta coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hear the music in there, Freddie McGregor, Dennis Brown, Greg Rice, Bob Marley, and a whole slew
And Luciano.
of uncombed. No, before Lucci time.
Before Luciano.
Luciano was a come up, before Lucci time. Actually, I forgot that one. Yeah, I used to play Mr. Luciano as well.
Yeah. I think we didn't mention that. Yeah, I know you probably mentioned. I think we didn't mention it. Yeah.
Right. So there was places here where they were saying like, no Rasta allowed, but then the music are playing at the place.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can be kind of harsh on ourselves from time to time. And then when the world take on Rasta now, and the world say, when Viv Richards, remember in the cricket days early in the 70s, that thing I used to say, when Viv Richards have on the red, gold and green wristband, and people go, oh, you might wear Rasta colour. When Bob Marley waiting in vain start playing on the radio, people say, oh, well, I don't like Rasta and reggae, but I like this song.
That's right. Typical, isn't it?
So everybody else take up the reggae, then we decide.
So you're with Steel Pulse now, and how's that going? How's that going? Because you're hardly in the UK. Yeah. I'm glad to catch up with you.
Well, what I thought might have been 6 months or something turned out to be like, damn, 20 years.
Serious. Because is that because of COVID? Because I know you were supposed to
say 6 months turned into nearly 20 years. I thought it was going to be like 6 months or something like that.
Is that because of the COVID thing? Because the tour was cancelled because of COVID, didn't it?
Oh, no. Which one? Oh, before?
Yeah,
we
before.
did. Oh, yeah. I thought it was on about what you say. Well, that's that. What's that like with Steel Pulse? I'm going back from the beginning to now. Like, it's been a great ride.
It's been a great ride. That's what I'm saying.
But in COVID, now that's a topic on its own, right? COVID time for a musician did, I would say, perhaps if I narrow it down to probably one out of two things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? COVID time for a musician and artists in general, creative people in general. Would I say touring people that have to go out to work to do their craft. Right. It did one of two things. Basically, it comes down to one, some people had an opportunity to finally pull out those files or go back to that song or go back to that painting or to that whatever it was that they were doing but got sidetracked by life or by the necessities of life.
Yeah.
So they were getting a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
There was no set time amount that, you're going to be locked down for 6 months or 2 days. People couldn't tell and their boundaries move and move. Yeah. But people set goals and were able to do things in that time.
Yeah.
So I know certain musician who was like, COVID, great. I got my album finished. I got my this finished. I got my that finished. I got my whatever finished, yeah? And then there were the other ones on another side, like where people that are normally used to going out because of their work, out to express their craft,
Yeah.
out to deliver their message,
Just-
out to be the recipient of the energies that
That's
come
right.
from
Yeah.
what it is they do,
Yeah.
right? They had a hard time,
Time.
right? To which I fall into the latter
Into that
category.
category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not easy to not be being out in front of um, a large number of people, or even a small number of people.
Mhm.
It was not easy not being able to express, musically and get that out,
Mhm. Mhm.
and be upon a reciprocal,
Yeah.
the thing going on like that. So I personally found it challenging.
Yeah. How did it affect your mind?
Yeah,
Mentally?
it wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
I didn't lose it, but it wasn't good. I knew the differences in myself. It affected my energy. It affected like sometimes you just make the day done, man. You know,
Yeah.
right? Not being able to, and like not having all the facilities available to me, like not having my studio where me can say, all right, let me pick up my bass, let me pick up that drum, let me pick up this, let me film this, let me record that, let me do this. Not having everything at my disposal and not being able to go to where things are,
Yeah.
right? I found very, very challenging.
Very challenging.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I found myself, even like if somebody phoned me or something like that, I mean, have my acoustic bass, me not saying anything. Because I WhatsApp
I used to- I think for me, because I'm that sort of personality. I think for me, like COVID, it had limited my work. But one of the things because as you know, I play guitar. One of the things for me, I played my instrument. But one of the things for me with COVID time, I love my exercise. So I went jogging. So I was always out anyway. And I had to see anybody. I went jogging, I went running, I went walking. I mean, because I love the outdoor anyway.
What I didn't say, what did work out for me though,
Yeah.
I started walking.
Yes.
I did start walking,
Yeah.
and I'd leave out like midnight sometime, on 1 o'clock, walk
Serious?
till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
No.
Right? Yeah, man.
Serious?
Walk one, walk boat. Yeah, so I started doing like a half-hour walk, 1 hour walk, 2 hours, and then sometimes 3, 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, because nobody on the road.
Nobody on the road. So,
Right? I mean, I expect nobody to rush me or tackle me or nothing like that.
And even the show I do here with Mr. Radio, and was a DJ in Mr. Radio, even when I was coming here, there was nobody on the road. Even when I come and do when I come to do like the Monday morning breakfast show, and even the drive time show, from 3 till 6 or 7 till 10, the breakfast show, there was nobody on the road. I was the only person on the road, you know what I mean? And I think the important for me about that was like to sort of come to do those shows because to still giving that information to like our community, you know what I mean? Which was one of the things I had dedicated myself to do, which was absolutely marvelous. You know what I mean?
That said, like there was like big up Steve Morrison again, right? Steve started what do you call it, a vlog or something, an interview thing in the start.
I was on that as well.
Is that,
We had a
yes,
conversation.
that's right.
Yeah, you was on that.
So
I was on that as well.
Steve was like
Steve Morrison,
running a thing where and people could get interview and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I got involved in a number of different. My brethren Jawires, I hope you're watching Jawires. Big up Jawires from Brazil, living in Australia, right? So I was involved in lots of different ones like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and another project I got involved in. It was like oh my gosh, one of my lecturers from college linked me up with somebody, and I ended up doing one of those videos, and you have the different people in them different houses and all them things there. And I recorded my piece, right? It was an Ian Drury song, I'm sure, right? And what's his name? Mr. Allen, Lily Allen, the singer. Her dad was in it,
All
right? Who else? Oh gosh, I can't remember. What's it on the piano? It was real cool. It was really, really cool, right? And that went out, and then I did a lot of other interview stuff and music stuff, did some stuff with Brazil, and because everybody stationary. So there was ways to find it, and then I became a builder. Build up my mother yard, man. Me do carpentry, me a skim kitchen floor, me fit bathroom, me learn so much little things all the time, man. I mean, if I tell you, right, every day me in blue overall, right, and just I do me. David Hines don't feel no way. The blue overall that I had on all those times is one from the Mass Manipulation album cover. I said it. Yeah, I did. It was COVID. What are you supposed to do? We did it overall. So anybody look at the Mass Manipulation album cover,
Yeah.
and we all got these blue overalls on.
I know that. I played that album. I played that
Alright,
album
so
many times. Yeah.
that overall
Is that your
has
overall?
worked. Yeah, that worked right through
that's it there?
COVID.
Is that it there? Is that it?
There you go.
There it is. See?
That blue overall there.
Big shout out to my producer. Please.
That's it. I didn't even know he was doing images at the same time. I didn't know he was doing all of that. Oh, my Instagram fans, you're gonna have to yeah, that blue overall, man, that lie down pan dirt, ground, floor, I did so much work in that, man. That's the only way I could stay in touch with the band, man. Feel like oh yeah, got to big up Kiesel as well. That red, gold, and green bass is just
Red, gold, and green.
Right, yeah, man. That's my bass. Kiesel is the company that I have my endorsement deal with for the bass.
Okay.
Right, Mark, Jeff, Kiesel, Albert. Yeah, right, those are the great guys. Right. That bass was the first of its kind. I'm the only one who's got that.
That looks like
right.
what we call a very. What's it like?
Beautiful.
It's great. It looks
fantastic.
great.
I just come from the studio with that one again. Right, and they actually just built me another one of those. So, in fact, that bass was it that one? It's actually that one. The other day was at Rotterdam in Spain, the biggest reggae festival over in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Kabaka was standing at the side of the stage.
Wow.
Kabaka, big up Grammy, kid, Kabaka.
Pyramid.
Big up yourself.
Yeah.
Right, trying to take my job. Because guess what?
What?
Right, we have a song called Roller Skate. So at the start of the song, I run to the front and I wave and this and that. Then I run to the back. I told my guitar tech, I said, Stefan, put this on him. Because I got two of the, just maybe another one of that, the same bass. There's two of those. So I said, come here. He said, put it on this. He go, what? I said, Stefan, put it on him. Put it on the bass. He said, so put. I said, run out there and go on like me. He said, what? I said, out there, sir. Pretend you are me. I come back a pyramid, run out to the front, man, and then I do me, I run up and down. Everybody was like, Brinsley Ford, right? As he was like, what? Right, oh listen, Rotterdam 2023, which camera am I looking at? This one or this one?
That's
this
the
one?
one, yeah.
Rotterdam 2023, yeah? Steel Pulse, you will see Kabaka Pyramid on my bass. I run up and down and this and that, yeah? Check out that one, it's funny, yeah? You gotta watch that one, yeah? Kabaka Pyramid, yeah? Big up Kabaka, yeah. Yeah.
Right, we're running out of time.
No.
I know. We could stay here for another 2 hours.
Yeah. Big up Epic Environmental Protection in the Caribbean. I'm on the board of directors with Epic.
Yeah, and I know you have mentioned the Staffordshire.
East Staffordshire Racial Equality Council. Yeah, that's what I used to do, the mentoring, right?
Yeah, that's where you do the mentoring.
Yeah.
Equal opportunity and that also.
East Staffordshire Equality Racial Equality Council.
Yes.
Something like that, yeah. Big up Tascam. Tascam, they're the ones that give me all of my studio equipment and all these type of things. So big up my sponsors, Tascam, big up and bless up Billy, you know, say yeah. Epic. Big up Professor Paul Sickle, Reggae for Reese, man, big up yourself, bless up.
And where you going next with the Street Pals? Where you touring next with the Street Pals?
We are heading for Canary.
When are you doing that?
That is actually next week, you know, sir.
Because I remember when I talked to you, you said you probably was going to go away.
Yeah,
you remember when we had the chance?
I wasn't sure about it.
You wasn't sure. So you're going to the Caribbean?
Yeah, so we're going over there. I don't know if there's anything else that's going to come up in between, because, you know, sometimes things come up and whatever. Right. And in between that. Yeah, big up Tony Eruption. Third world band, Tony Eruption. I just spent 2 days in the studio in London. Right. Tony Eruption is doing a project. Tony Eruption doing his solo project right now. Right. He came over into England. He's been working at Scorpion Studios in London. And big up Rassites, right? Cash, big up yourself. Right. Cash was on the guitar. Right. Cyrus, big up yourself. Cyrus on the keyboards from the Rassites. Right. They called me down to get on the bass, and we created some stuff and do all these type of things for Tony Eruption with Tony Eruption.
Great.
And so big up Trevor, big up Tony Eruption. Fantastic, and we still have more to. Now you're going to see some other things as well. Me and Eruption have some things. Yeah, so watch this spot. Watch this spot. Yeah. Big up Eruption, big up.
I'm like, what can I say? As I say, we could go on, but you know, time is limited.
Yeah. Next time I interview you. I just said that to you the other day.
You said that to me, you want to interview me from we met.
Yeah. The story, look, you know, in reality, the story long. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a lot. But most of all, I'm just saying, give thanks for life for, you know, those of us who are still here and still in it to win it, as we say. right? Buju Banton say it's not a easy road.
Road.
Many see the glamour and the glitter and everything. Yeah. Who feels it knows. And we'll talk about all this the next time. I'm sure this is on everybody's. we can hit that one next time.
What are those?
You see, I said next time.
No, next time. Well, we can't wait. No, we can't wait. You have to tell me now.
You have to call me back in.
You have to call me back in.
Man. Yeah, man. DJ call, you have to call me back in. That's what I'm calling you. You have to call him, yeah? You call, you know. Yes, you call.
You left me in the suspension there,
yes,
eh?
that's right. Da. Beep. This was a Project Political broadcast on behalf of Yellow Wall Productions, Steel Pulse, and DJ Carl.
Who else you want to say hello to? Give a shout out to all
Man,
the
Mr.
people.
Diane, Mr. Daily Family.
Shout out to
And, gosh, man, everybody, man, move to me just to talk to you. Captain Chocho, right? Bonito, big up yourself, Mama Tafara, the whole of my family and thing, and, you know, the whole of the musician, them, everybody. You know, I mean, going into the States as well. Boy, big up everybody in the States and all them kind of thing there. Mish, big up yourself, Michelle, right? Dina, Hayana, Bianca, big up Bianca, Livia, big up Bianca, Livia, right? And the list goes on and on and just many years and years, love you all, yeah? Right, and everybody in the music fraternity and in the arts, yeah? We've had a struggle, but the struggle continues.
Right.
Yeah.
I must say what has sort of impressed me so much is because the height of such a talented person, where you are, and the things you've achieved and the things you have done. And you, well, both come from Hansworth, which is marvelous. You know what I mean? Which is absolutely marvelous. We've been street people. We know what it's like. Survived, isn't it?
No, actually.
What is it?
I got away with it.
No, I don't think that's it.
I'm telling you.
I think you get away with it. You know what I mean? I think
my book is going to be this big,
your book's going to be big.
but the published edition will be that small.
Can I have exclusive rights?
I got away with it.
Can I have exclusive right for the interview when we started?
No, some stuff is just not going to be told. Right? That's all I can say. I got away with it. I was fortunate. I got away with stuff.
Serious?
Yeah, man. So, you know,
You got away with stuff.
hands hurt
Hansworth.
at all times. Oh, yeah, by the way, I got some kind of carpal tunnel kind of thing going on. It's like not nice, you know, like the wrist thing. Yeah. And the last time I had something like this I was at Steven Seagal house. Steven Seagal. Get some
Steven Seagal?
Yeah, man, Steven. And it was me and Don Carlos, actually.
Because he's a fantastic guitarist as well, isn't he? He's a fantastic musician. See,
Steven,
we could go on, you know, guys.
Yeah,
we could go
I
on.
want to, man. I can tell you stories, you know. I can tell you stories. Next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
I'm like Tafari.
Yes, sir.
Bless you, sir. Let me say thank you for coming to the studio and telling us that it went quick.
Thank you for inviting me.
There's
Thank
so
you.
much story we need to tell, but it went quick. Right, guys. Massive respect, sir. Thank you. Right, guys. There you have it. The greats. I'm like Tafari. And what a journey he's had, you know what I mean? I know we're going to talk soon again. Don't forget to catch us next week with another What's on Your Mind. My guest next week is Levi One Drop Washington. Yeah. Stay tuned. I want to say thanks also to my producer. I think
I was gonna,
it's dead.
I was gonna play us out, but man,
the number 6 string is dead.
Not only is it not in tune,
no, it's not in tune.
This one doesn't even have a string to tune.
It's not mine. It's my producer. I'm Remy, my producer.
Hold on then. I'll give you this.
That's why I never played.
What you saying in England? Anyone for tennis? Whoa.
Right. Thank you. As I say, my guest next week is Levi One Drop Washington, DJ, and we hope to speak to him next week. Have a great week. Guys, you see how the show works. Hook us up if you want to take part in the show, and this has been great this week. Massive respect. Thank you. We're out. Breakthrough TV.